Hey everyone, I'm Kevin on the Linfield Sports Network. Joining me today, Joseph Smith, head football coach of the Linfield Wildcats. Coach, your team got out to an early lead there, 3-0, and then went on to win 13-zip against Redlands at home. Big home opener for you to get to 1-1 on the year. Kind of just give me the lowdown on that first home game for you, and to get back to 500 on the season in 2018.
Well, thank you. It's awesome to play at home. Obviously, that's something that never gets old. Our guys really enjoy playing. I enjoy coaching there. It's great. So it was a really special day, I think. The weather was great. Cat Dome was full, and we had all kinds of recruits there. So it was a really, just a really neat environment, quite frankly, to play in. So I liked that. Our defense played lights out. Anytime you can hold a team to 0 points, you're doing something really well on defense, and what you're doing is minimizing big plays. And the absence of big chunk plays, if you will, really helped us on defense. We didn't have the breakdowns. We didn't allow large gains of yardage. Therefore, we're able to get lots of punts. And when we play that kind of football, we're a very good defense. Offensively, I would have liked to have obviously not had the turnovers that we did, and I felt like that kept it from being a 28, honestly probably a 21-point lead, at half, like it should have been, quite easily.
Let's talk about one of your premier defenders, Duke Mackel. He's in the conversation for Northwest Conference Player of the Year already on the defensive side of the football. Your safety already has 2 picks. He's on pace for 9 if he's keeps this up, and really should have had 2 there. A face mask penalty on the other side of the ball, or on the other side of the field rather, called that one back. But Duke has just been playing out of his mind to start the season. How has he grown from last season to this year?
He really should have had 2. That was a phantom penalty that we sent into the league that was ridiculous. But so that was unfortunate to see that taken away from him. And I would agree. I believe Duke is the most impacting player right now that I've seen in the conference. There's some other very fine players too, but the year he's poised to have, I think, is fun to maybe conjecture about. And I really love his experience and his anticipation. I think that's what separates him from other people with maybe the similar physical attributes, is his mind and his ability to anticipate and see. And all great defensive backs anticipate. You have to and play the percentages a little bit, sit on things, look for things, and he's certainly that type of player. And I expect him to have a great rest of the season, even if the picks don't come, and you can't get hung up on that. Interceptions come as a result of opportunity oftentimes, and maybe pressure and opportunity. So he just has to keep doing what he's doing and be a solid tackler like he is, and the plays will come.
Let's flip to the other side of the ball. Your team got back to the running game, which it kind of maybe missed out on a little bit last week. Chittibim Noli, your workhorse, 24 carries, almost 150 yards. Artemis Johnson got a handful of touches as well, but getting Chitta going really seemed to play a huge role in what you were able to do offensively.
Absolutely. The 2 games probably couldn't be more different in terms of schematically what we were facing, and the team prior being a man-free, force you to throw the ball, stack the box type of team, making it difficult to run on, and conversely, Redlands a little bit more lesser stoutness, if you will, against the run, therefore allowed us to do that. And that was certainly an area of emphasis. We want to run the football, and we need to. And I'm still not overly we're not happy with where we are running the football still. I think there's a lot of room for improvement, and that's certainly been the focus all this week, and will continue to be the rest of the year as our offense will go how our running game goes. It's pivotal. We have great running backs. We have a good, solid offensive line, good tight ends, and we should be able to run the football. It's just a matter of habits and execution and technique.
Your receivers had a really good game despite their biggest playmaker being out, J.D. Laswell. Max Novak with his first touchdown as a Wildcat. Cool to see that moment, the only touchdown of the game. Tyler Torgerson put the game on ice with a huge 40-yard reception, I think, down the middle of the field, and a couple of big plays for him. As that group starts to build confidence, now you add J.D. to the mix. Really good time, and maybe a really good group that you've got at wide receiver.
Well, time will tell, how good they are. We got roughed up a little bit, in the Carroll game. Just their corners were very strong and physical, and and I just don't believe we won the matchups out there that we're used to winning, and that was a really good wake-up call for our receivers. Obviously, the grass had a little bit to do with that. They just didn't really have their feet underneath them. They felt like, and you got to get used to that. So, I look for them to be very good one-on-one matchups. If teams do that, that needs to be their mentality. Team wants to go one-on-one. We need to be able to win that matchup, and I felt like they did that more, last week, and we need to continue to do that.
Patrick Pipitone at the kind of center of your defense at linebacker, with all the loss at linebacker that you've had this season. Pat has really stepped up, played tremendously. He's been a great leader. What does he mean to not only your defense, obviously, but the locker room and just his leadership? It seems like he's been very vocal this year, a four-year guy for you.
I think that's very astute observation. He's wearing number 35 for a reason. There will never be a average kind of person wearing that. It's going to be a pretty spectacular young man that gets the honor to wear that, and he certainly fits that. He's the team CEO, voted by his peers, high integrity, high worker, high accountability, and he's a heck of an athlete, is what you're starting to see. He and Duke, ran down their quarterback multiple times, and that was a very fine running quarterback that they had, and so I'm just really proud of Patrick taking on all of this turnover at linebacker, and he is the only veteran player in that group, and he's got a bunch of young guys that he's trying to teach how to do things, and you got to really compliment Coach Romback. He's been doing a great job with those linebackers and working incredibly hard trying to get them up to speed. We've never played young men in our offense as young as some of the guys that have been playing, and that doesn't mean we can't do it. It's just a little bit new.
Mm-hmm. Colton Ramos flipped the field 3 times for you. Your punter has been tremendous this season. He averaged 51 yards a punt. He had a 56-yard punt in the game, too. Downed them all 3 inside the 20. He's been spectacular and a real weapon for you in special teams.
He has been. The bright side, possibly in the Carroll game, one of them was our punting game was tremendous. Flipping the field, pinning them deep. And Colton's just been, we expect him to be a great weapon. He has a great leg, and he's a multi-sport athlete. He's really a neat young man, and I'm really excited for him because he's got a bright future ahead of him.
You're 1-1, heading into the bye week, Whitworth on the horizon. Where does your team maybe need to improve here in this week and a half before the biggest Northwest Conference game that everybody's talking about to hype that game up?
Yeah, every game's, a big Northwest Conference game. So, our first 2 games honestly don't matter. They're a pride issue. Now the games really count. Mm-hmm. So, we just have to get our fundamentals better. That's been the rallying cry, if you will, from everything from defensive step and strike to reads to offensive line blocking and knee bend and hand position, to receivers running crisper routes, to quarterbacks better footwork, to everything. So it's a fundamental technique time, and we need to set a really great foundation that'll carry us through the rest of the year.
Northwest Conference play begins on the road for you this year, too, and at Whitworth in Spokane, a tough place to play. What are your expectations kind of going into that game on what you'll see maybe from Whitworth?
Well, our expectations are to win. That's definitely the expectation, but it's to play well and to play, up to our ability. But, I think Whitworth's a very good team. I picked them, in the coaches' poll, and they're not a hype me up program like some other programs are that are all flash and in some ways, I think run stats up and stuff like that. They don't do any of that. They're a legit, high quality, high class program that plays really hard, and Coach Sandberg's a good coach, and so they're gonna play really hard. I think it'll be a heck of a hornet's nest that we're walking into.
Cats run a bye this week. They'll go to Whitworth next week, and then be sure to get your tickets for homecoming. That game likely to be sold out. That's against Willamette on October the 6th. Coach, thanks for the time and good luck. Not this week, but next week.
Thanks.